Hi dear students, in this session we discussed about the general properties of pteridophytes and we came up with different properties which are unique to pteridophytes. In today's session we are going to take up two examples to understand the properties in detail regarding their reproduction and also general nature or the physical appearance. And here we are going to discuss about the organisms have been classified in different groups. First one is a Coelurosauria. Coelurosauria is the example and they are commonly called as whisk ferns. These are commonly called as whisk ferns. Second group of organism, that is Lycopodium. Lycopodium. So here these are commonly called as club ferns. The example is Lycopodium, Lycopsida, commonly called as club ferns. Example is Lycopodium or Selaginella. Third one, Sphenopsida. This was discussed in the general classification for first or second session of plant kingdom. Sphenopsida is commonly called as horsetails. And the example is Equisetum. Fourth one is example Pteropsida. Commonly called as ferns, general ferns, and the example is Dryopteris, Pteris, Adiantum. This is growing in water, Salvinia, and next is Adiantum. Or you can take one more example, Morcilla. So these we have observed. See, when we observe these different organisms which are coming with their different classes, with their common names and also examples, we find that there is a presence. So when we say that leaves, so here in case of pteridophytes, true leaves are there. Which may be of two types. One is larger leaves and other is smaller leaves. If they are larger, they are only females, and if they are smaller, then they will be male. So because why means if you consider this as a leaves. If you consider this as a leaf, okay, so this is considered as a vein, one of the vein, and later we have to find that there are two surfaces on one single leaf. If you can take that one example, take this as a leaf, this is considered as a lower surface and this is considered as a upper surface. And when it comes to the lower surface, it is also said as a boxial surface. Boxial surface. Okay, and the one which is on the top, this is considered as a upper adaxial surface. Structures. So on the lower surface, there will be presence of marginal side. So these are the brown patches present on the lower surface of the leaf, and they are brownish in color. They just look like a brownish patches which bears the spores within that. So there will be a spore within this, right? And these are called as sporangium. Within this, there will be a presence of spores. Sometimes what happens in particular organisms, take one example, Selaginella and Lycopodium. Lycopodium is said to be homosporous in nature. And Selaginella is said to be heterosporous in nature. See, homo refers to similar or simple one, or which are present on the same, or hetero refers to different. Here, on the same leaf, there will be a presence of both male and female structures, and those are said to be homosporous, and which are present on the other leaves, and are called as a heterosporous. Here, the leaves which bears a spore-like structures, the sporangium, on the lower surface are said to be sporophyte. The same leaf which is having a sporangium are called as a sporophyte. The leaves bearing sporophyte bearing. The sporangium which is present on the lower surface of a leaf are called as a sporophyte. And here the leaves of pteridophytes are said to be sporophylous. Because phyll means leaves. Spores are present on the leaves, that's why this is called as a sporophylous. Phyllotaxy term na ನೀವು next ಓದ್ತೀರಾ ಮಾರ್ಫಾಲಜಿಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಫಿಲೋಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿ, ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಒನ್, ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಲೀವ್ಸ್, ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಲೀವ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ಕೇಳಿರ್ತೀರಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗೆ ಫಿಲ್ ರೆಫರ್ಸ್ ಟು ಲೀವ್ಸ್ and spore refers to the gamete structures. Here the gamete structures which are present on the lower surface of a leaves are called as sporophylous leaves, and those complete structure is called as a sporophyte. When it comes to Selaginella, there will be a presence of, so ಇಷ್ಟು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಂತೀನಿ. We'll move to the next one. Homosporous and heterosporous leaves. Larger one which are female and they are called as a microsporangium. Smaller one female and they are called, male are called as a microsporangium and microsporophytes. And then the leaf structure with the brown patches at the marginal region and the sporophyte and sporophyte. Understood about the leaf of a pteridophyte. We'll take up the next concept regarding a complete structure of a ferns, normal general ferns. Identify ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಯಾಕೆ ಇದೆರಡನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಪ್ರೇಟಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬರದೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದರೆ ದೆರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅ CET ಕ್ವಶನ್. Pick up the one of the given organisms. Pick up any one of the given organisms and match the given heterosporous ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು heterosporous ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. So next we'll take up the ferns and their reproduction process. Ferns and their reproduction. See, when it comes to the reproduction process, there will be a presence of dominant sporophyte, which is dominant one in case of pteridophytes. Sporophyte is dominant, and the next is gametophyte. Next is gametophyte. Now we start understanding the in detail structure of one of the fern, that is okay. See, if you consider this as a soil surface, this is a soil surface, then there will be a presence of roots. There will be a presence of true roots, you know that. Here also true roots will be there. This is one structure, and within the soil there will be a presence of stem, underground stem, with the scaly structures. And these scaly structures which are present on the stem, underground stem, are called as a ramenta. Right? The larger one. See, if you consider this as a soil surface, okay, and you are going to find out the underground stem. This is an underground stem, and later on underground stem, upper surface of underground stem, a scaly structures will be there, and these scaly structures are called as a ramenta. So these are considered as ramenta. And always the ferns, so underground, write the properties here. This one, underground stem is called as a rhizome. Rhizoids is differ from rhizome. ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, rhizoids are the unicellular like structures, but rhizome is the underground stem of a pteridophyte. Right? On an underground stem, there will be a presence of roots which are true in pteridophytes, and they are always adventitious roots. You know that 3 different types of root systems are there in a plant kingdom. That is taproot, adventitious root, and fibrous root system, right? So in that, adventitious roots are present, and on the top of a rhizome there will be a presence of scaly structures, and those are called as a ramenta. Okay, and you can find the presence of a roots over here. So these are the roots. See, you will write the taproot system like the same. So hige bardu illela roots anta ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ. I am writing this as an underground stem called as rhizome. On the top of rhizome there will be presence of adventitious roots. So ನಾನು ಬರಿತಾ ಇರೋದು, ಇವಾಗ ಬರ್ದಿರೋದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಸ್ಟೆಮ್, ಅಂಡರ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಮತ್ತು ರೂಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ adventitious ರೂಟ್ಸ್ನ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆಗಡೆ ಇರೋದು ramenta. And later on the aerial portion there will be a presence of stem which is running as like this, right, and always will be the presence of one of the stem structure which is prehensile, like this, one of the stem which is a very smaller and young, the young very smaller stem structure which is present always at one of the end, any of the corner, and that is called as prehensile succinate vernation. Prehensile succinate vernation. Artha agide. And next one, I will take any one of the leaves to write properly. There will be a presence of alternate leaves and which are visible properly as a leaves. Like this it will be there. Alternate leaves will be there. And this is another leaf. And if you take this one leaf, it will be observed like this. With always within a single leaf there will be a presence of vein also. One vein is there, the single vein will be there. And we will take up the single vein over here. Understood? And later a brown colored patches present on the marginal region to exhibit the presence of sporophilous structure for a leaves, and then it becomes sporophyll, and these are called as a sporangia. And if you observe single sporangia, it shows an appearance like this. And later a little bit dome shaped structure which bears a sporangia within that, and a cluster of sporangia beared structures are said to be sori. See, I will write one side. These are the stalk structures and one single sporangia. This is one single sporangia. And again the same way, these are the stalk-like structures and one single sporangia. In the same way, this side also will be the presence of stalk and the sporangia. A cluster or a group of these structures are said to be sori and sorus. Sori will be the singular form and sorus will be the plural form. And next, if you take up a single sporangia, which bears a spore mother cells within that. So these are the spores within that, spore mother cells. These are spore mother cells. And if you find out the structure of sporangia, on one side there will be a presence of thick walled cells called as annulus. These are the thick walled cells called as annulus. On any one side, a very thin walled cells which helps in dehisce of the spore mother cells. Dehisce antandre meaning rupturing anta ashte. Okay. On one side there will be a presence of thin walled cells also, outer cells will also be there and are called as stomium. And these are said to be annulus. and this stalk will be as it is, which are present annulus, and within this there will be a presence of 4 spore mother cells, and these spore mother cells will come out during the rupturing process through stomium, and then this single will be the spore, this single will be each spore by meiosis they undergo or they become spore mother cells. Spore mother cell, I will write take only the one structure, right? Spore mother cells, and these are said to be spore mother cells, and by meiosis they become single spore. By spore there will be a formation of a gametophyte called as prothallus. There will be a formation of a prothallus, which is a gametophytic structure. See, from this sporophytic structure up to here there will be a formation of a spores, and later there will be a next developmental structure called as gametophyte, and that is prothallus. And how it will be the prothallus structure? I will rub the underground part of a fern here and we make it short. Okay, itara ide anta ankolana. And this gametophyte, a prothallus, which is developed from the spores. ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, prothallus origin ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಸ್ಪೋರಿಂದ. CET questions ಇವೆಲ್ಲ. Where will be the origin of prothallus in pteridophytes ಅಂತಂದರೆ spores ಅಂತೇಳಿ. And what will be the ploidy ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ that is N ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Okay. And this prothallus will develop by meiosis first, and they just arise just like a chordate structure. And that chordate structure which possess an apical notch. Chordate structure means heart shaped structure. Just look like a heart shaped structure, and a groove which is formed with the anterior end, that is called as apical notch. And this apical notch, below this there will be a presence of some of the structures which bears the gametes, as it is gametophyte which bears a gametes, so that's why these are the gametes present in the anterior region. And when you look the prothallus, there will be a presence of sheet like or a mat like structure. If you consider this as a prothallus, this is a ventral surface and this is a dorsal surface, and there will be a presence of roots and the gamete structures on the ventral side, and on the top we cannot see anything. So that's why if you consider the ventral surface, there will be a presence of roots which are present in the ventral region, and which are attached with the roots are called as a male gametes, and which are present anterior to this will be the female gametes. So I am writing female and male gametes separately. Here these are the roots which are present on the ventral surface. There will be a backside region, dorsal surface, and I am writing on the ventral region. So this is a root structures, and nearest or closest to the root structures there will be a presence of one of the gamete called as a male one. So you are clear about this, which is present nearer to the apical notch are said to be the female one, which are present or closest to the root structures are called as a male gametes. And later these will develop into a new separate gamete structures, and they develop with the where they develop a sperm or male gamete Sperm are male gamete from the male gametophytic portion and egg from the female gametophytic portion. Later by fertilization they fuse together through fertilization process and they become diploid, and that structure is said to be diploid zygote, and this zygote will be developed into an embryo, and later this embryo will again develop into a new plant body. See, this is a new plant body. By development they get mature. After maturity they forms a sporophyll. That means on the lower surface of the leaves there will be a presence of brown patches which bears a sporangia, and I have written the sporangia and the sporophyll. And later this single sporangia will look like this, and where this is a stalk and the sporangia. Each sporangia will possess the structure like this. This is a stalk, and there will be a presence of two types of cells, and those are thick walled annulus and thin walled stomium. Through thin walled stomium there will be a rupturing process will occur, and they come out from the sporangia, that is spore mother cells. And these spore mother cells, when they come out, they undergo meiosis to form a spores, and the spores which are formed, they develop into a prothallus, a gametophytic part, and this gametophytic part will be looking like this, with the cardioid structure and apical notch at the anterior end and the posterior pointed end. The roots and the other gametangia like structures will be present on the ventral side, and the dorsal side is empty, and the apical notch region will be present with the female structures, female gametes, and the other root structures along with the male gametes will be present at the posterior end. And from the female there will be a development of egg, and the male will be a development of sperms. Due to the fertilization process they fuse together to form a zygote, and this is called as zygote. And then the zygote will develop into an embryo, and later it will come out as a new plant body. So this is how the life cycle of a pteridophyte fern will takes place when it comes to all these organisms. I took one example, that is Pteris or Dryopteris. You can take these two, and they are commonly called as ferns. So I have completed the life cycle here. You can find that this is N in condition, and again this also N in condition. This is one N in condition, again this one N, and this is also N, this is also N. Later gametophyte will also be N. When there will be a fusion will takes place, up to here N it will be there, and later this will be 2N and this will be 2N. Only a very short span will be 2N, and all other part will be N. And here the sporophyte will be the dominant stage, and the gametophyte will be a very smaller stage. Here it is a gametophyte up to here only, so that's why it is a very shorter period. And dominant means from here to spore mother cells and the spores, it is a dominant one. So that's why it exhibits the haplodiploidic life cycle. Artha agide idishtu regarding the life cycle of a pteridophyte. I took one example, that is fern. I hope you all understood about this. We will go through the economic importance within a short span of time. Here, as due to the presence of very fabulous looking properties of the leaves, so right? So hagagi, so these are considered as the ornamental plants. We are growing these plants for the purpose of ornament of our home. Right? So towards the economic importance. They have medicinal value, much medicinal value. So Marciella ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೀಷೀಸ್ ಇದೆ, which is a water fern ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೆಯುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಟೆರಿಡೋಫೈಟ್, and this is used as a medicine by tribal peoples, and this consists of a large amount of starch within the bulb like structures. So ಇದು ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಹೀಗಿರ್ತದೆ, ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಇದರೊಳಗಡೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಚ್ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಷನ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಡಿಯಾಂಟಮ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ, ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಅಡಿಯಾಂಟಮ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಅ medicinal value where it can be used to treat the ಥ್ರಾಟ್ ಡಿಸೀಸಸ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಗಂಟ್ಲಿಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಆಯುರ್ವೇದಿಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ಸ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಅಡಿಯಾಂಟಮ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಥ್ರೋಟ್ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಷನ್ನ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಅಡಿಯಾಂಟಮ್. ಇದು ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಅಂಥದ್ದು ಮಾರ್ಸಿಯಲ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈಕೋಪೋಡಿಯಮ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನಲ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಟು ಏನು ಡಿಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಸ್ಟೋನ್ಸ್ನ ಡಿಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಕಿಡ್ನಿನಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ಸ್ನ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ಲೈಕೋಪೋಡಿಯಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ರಿಗಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಅ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್, ವೆರಿ ಲೆಸ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಟ್ ಮಚ್ ಆರ್ನಮೆಂಟಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ದ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ a fabulous appearance. Okay, pteridophytes we have completed, and we left with the gymnosperms and the we'll take up those two in the next session. Thank you, dears.